Greetings of the day. I'm Gopi Krishna here to present my project Data Pipelining on DWDM, Data Warehousing and Data Mining. What I have done in this project, I've done a complete data pipelining, and for this, I've used data architecture of a data warehouse. Also, I have done like server-side SQL and used Docker for it. So let's look into it. So, in general, if we talk about data architectures, there are four types: data warehouse, data lake, data lakehouse, data mesh. So, in data warehouse, if we go again, Inmon, Kimball, Data Vault, and Medallion architecture. These are the four types. So, in our project, I have implemented data warehouse, and in that Medallion architecture. So what happens in the medallion architecture? So in medallion architecture, data is taken from various sources, and we consider three layers. One is the bronze layer, silver layer, and gold layer. So what happens in these layers? Let's get to know them more in depth. So in bronze layer, like the raw data which comes from the source, so like it can be the CRM data or the ERP data, it can be in form of CSV files like that. So from the raw data is taken in and put into the bronze layer. It is kept as it is, and we are doing the full load loading process. Here, no transformations are done at all on the data. Data is kept as it is, as it was before. From there, we are going into the silver layer. Here, from the raw data point of view, we are cleaning the data and making it more standardized data. So here again, the loading can be done in batch processing or full load or truncate and insert. And the transformations can be done like data cleansing, data standardization, data normalization, derived columns, data enrichment. Basically here like our raw data is little more cleaned and standardized and made more structured. So on top of which we go to the next layer, which is the gold layer. So in gold layer, it is like little more business oriented specific upon which business we are like analyzing the data for. So here no loading happens. Transformations can happen, which are data integrations, aggregations, business logics. So these are little more higher level transformations, which are little more oriented to like particular businesses. And data modeling here can be done like star schema, flat table, aggregated table, like that. On top of which, if we apply like tools like BI and reporting or ad hoc SQL queries or machine learning, we can generate better insights. So far we have covered like a basics of data warehouse, the three medallion architecture which I have included, which consists of bronze layer, silver layer, gold layer. We have just seen them basically what happens in each of the layers. Now let's just take a look at the like the flow chart, like the flow of the process is what happens in the each layer. So in general, each layer consists of the analyzing stage, coding stage, validating stage, docs, and version. So these four stages are common to each of the layer, but what happens under each layer is slightly different. So in bronze layer, it is like interview source systems experts. Then data ingestion happens, data completeness and schema checks, documenting versioning in Git. So as we remember in bronze layer, no much transformation like at all happens. Only loading happens and data is kept as it is. So that happens in bronze layer. Coming to silver layer, what happens is like exploring and understanding the data, data cleansing, data correctness checks, and again documenting versioning in Git. So here, like data is like little more processed and cleaned. That is what happens in the silver layer. When it comes to the gold layer, it's like more business oriented and business like logics are applied. So here, explore and understand the business objects. Data integration is done. Data integration checks are done, and again documenting versioning in Git. So Git is basically like it helps us in version control and management. So now let's take a look at the code part. So far, I hope that whoever who watches it gets a basic understanding of what the data warehouse is, and in that what our model is, and the pipeline which I have tried to implement it. So now let's take a small look at the code part. So this is our code space. So here, if we take a look at here, So here we can under like see the MySQL like SQL server, and we have done it through this procedure. So now let's take a look at each files. So we know that it has three levels. I mean, the bronze layer, silver layer, gold layer. So let's start at the beginning, which is the bronze layer. So here in bronze layer we have the DDL and the load. Okay. So basically DDL, it's like all the creation processes where everything is done. Like all the tables are set up, all the structures are set up, and as we can see, this is the implementation of the like our database kind of setup. And basically this is where the data warehouse or like the like structure is set. So now the load bronze. So we know that like as raw as the data is, we are storing it directly into the bronze layer. So here we can like see how we are taking like loading the data as it is into the tables which we have created. So next, let's take a look at silver layer. Again, silver layer we have DDL and also like a load. So so what data do we load into the silver layer? So we know that in silver layer it is more like standardized, more cleaned. So first the DDL of the silver layer will have similar but a little more like changed version. So for one change version which extra added is this date time. So then coming to the load part. So here when we are loading it, we just perform all the like as many cleaning as possible. So null values are like checked into, and also other redundancies or like issues with the data, we are checking it, and we are cleaning that part and like making better data points in this part. And for coming to gold, there is basically no loading in the gold part. Here we are just creating the views, business oriented views for each like business logics. We are just applying it, and since the data is already cleaned and processed, we just have to like either like let's term in layman's like we are just grouping it or clubbing it based on our logic. And primary key, all the like database key constraints come into picture here, which helps us in better like I mean analysis, or like which helps us in better analysis. So and to make it better or to understand whether our objective of like cleaning and pre-processing a bit in the silver layer works, we have a test silver .sql file which makes sure that if our objective of like cleaning and loading doing a pre-processing in the silver layer is performed right, this file will ensure us gives us a positive output regarding that silver layer checks are completed like that. And to come to the gold layer also, we know that there are no loading of the data set. It is just creation of the business logic, various views, and that is done in the gold layer. And also when we come to the analysis, this is the main ipynb file. So again here we can just take a look at how the connection which we are doing it to the SQL server. So that is done in this part basically. And yeah, so this is how all the architecture setup or the initial setups which happens behind it. I mean, for the creation of the data warehouse, everything happens here. Then after, if we take about how gold views and all are created here like that, and this is the output, like I mean decked keys, this is the key output, like three like views or the three main, like for each gold, silver, and bronze is created here. And we have various validations also for each gold and all. So when we come into the EDA, this is the key part, exploratory data analysis. So here we can analyze, like understand like various like data which we pass through. We'll check whether each is done, and we perform like whether if it is null, how do we replace it, or like if it is some redundancy or like some issues with the data, we clean it up here. So we do it that for the gold layer. And also dimension exploration is done, so that is there. So these are the basic exploratory data analysis which we can do based on the data set which we have taken in. And these are the few insights which we have generated from it. So we have used the matplotlib library to plot some graphs over here. This is a bar chart, customers of the country, like, and we have given a placeholder to understand it better. So I guess that should clear it off. And yeah, this part comes to the measures of distributions. So when we take a look at this, yeah, so when we take a look at this graphs, the user can, or the business person objective, what objective, like, we can easily understand it using the pictorial representations, using various graphs and like various attributes and all. So that is done. And magnitude analysis, again, that is another attribute which we analyzed, and we have used this time again, like similar to a bar chart. So various analysis has been done, and quite a few insights have been generated, and we have made sure that since it is properly cleaned and done everything, so our insights are should be accurate, should give a proper result. And yeah, so when we come to the behavioral and temporal analysis also, it's the same. Yeah, so let's take a just skim through the code. Yeah, so these are the various graphs again. So we have taken count and value in the one axis and month in the other axis. So this is like the monthly revenue, orders, and active customers. So if we take a look at this graph, we can understand how the pattern shifts over the time, and accordingly the business logic can be applied. So this is the next one for cumulative rolling. And similarly, all the pictorially effective graphs have been, or the insights have been generated. And again, we can, like, for obviously a business would need a summarized report. So for that, we are doing a summarized report, and everything is being done. So yeah, so this was a really like good experience in building such a project, a full data pipeline. We have tried our best, and I'm actually really pleased to have such a great teammates. And thank you to Anusha ma'am for her guidance. Thank you.